I did not know that The Strangers had a sequel. Let's get into it. So the movie starts off in a trailer park, and this woman, Cheryl, is woken up when she hears music coming from outside, so she goes to look out the window. And naturally, no one's outside. But when she turns around, she sees Dollface, who is already in the fucking house. And then we cut to Cheryl's husband, Marvin, who is still asleep in the bedroom, and we see Dollface come in and lie down next to him. Fucking nightmare fuel. And then we jump to somewhere else when we meet our main family. So we have Mike, his wife Cindy, their daughter Kinsey, and their son Luke. And we learn that they're going to visit their aunt and uncle at a trailer park. But of course, once they get to the trailer park, their aunt and uncle, Cindy and Marvin, are surprisingly not around. So they go to the trailer that they supposedly rented, I'm guessing, or something like that. And once they get there, they hear a knock at the door. And of course, it's Dollface asking, "Is Tamara home?" So Cindy says, no, you have the wrong house, and Dollface leaves. But then Kinsey decides to go out right after Dollface leaves to have a smoke. And her brother Luke goes out with her, so they kind of start walking and talking. They pass a playground, and you can see Dollface standing in the distance. It's fucking terrifying. And then Luke and Kinsey see a trailer with its door open, so naturally, being a horror movie, they go investigate. And Luke finds the classic "hello" written all over the window. Kinsey then finds something covered with a sheet, and when she pulls it back, it is their Uncle Marvin's dead body. So they both book it out of there. Meanwhile, Dollface shows up again and asks if Tamara is home, so the parents send her away again. So Kinsey and Luke come back, they're looking terrified, so Cindy and Kinsey stay to call the cops, while Mike and Luke go back to the trailer. Why they would do that, I don't fucking know. But their phones have been smashed, and then Dollface comes at them with a knife. So Cindy and Kinsey run to the bathroom and lock themselves in, while Kinsey makes a break for it by going through the ceiling. However, Dollface gets in, attacks Cindy, and kills her right in front of her daughter. Meanwhile, Mike and Luke go to the trailer, they find Marvin's body, so they come back and they find Cindy's body. And then we see the terrifying masked man come at them. Mike finds the gun and threatens to use it, but the masked man disappears before he can do anything. So Mike and Luke get in the car to go for help. And then the masked man rams into them with a truck, which causes a wooden plank to pin Mike to the seat. Amazingly, this does not kill him. So Mike gives Luke the gun and tells him to go find Kinsey and get out of there. And in a very anxiety-inducing moment, we see the masked man get into the passenger side of the car and play with the radio before killing Mike with an ice pick. The masked man now goes after Kinsey, but she manages to find a place to hide. But then she runs into Pinup Girl. So Kinsey runs back to the trailer, where she is attacked by Dollface, who stabs her in the leg. And I'm assuming it was somewhere vital because Kinsey is unable to walk for the rest of the movie. Luke comes in the nick of time and threatens Dollface with the gun so he can grab Kinsey, and they run out of there. They take shelter in another trailer, and they have a really nice sibling heart-to-heart moment because Kinsey kind of blames herself. She's like, "I'm such a fuck up. It's my fault we come up here because I'm going to boarding school." And Luke's like, no, that's not true. Don't be like that. Then the masked man drives his truck literally through the wall of the trailer, forcing them to run. But Luke forgets to bring the gun with them. Now remember, Kinsey can't walk, so Luke hides her underneath one of the trailers, and he goes to the main office place to go call for help. But of course, there's no connection. Pinup Girl then finds Luke, but he is able to hold her off with a golf club. Pinup Girl then pulls out a knife, and her and Luke go back and forth, but Luke is able to grab the knife and stab her to death. This was a revelation for me because I'm like, oh shit, these people can actually die. It's not like a Michael Myers type shit. But unfortunately, Man in the Mask shows up just in time to see this. These two have a very nerve-wracking fight, which eventually leads to them both falling into the pool. But the Man in the Mask is ultimately able to stab Luke and leaves him to bleed out in the pool. Thank God Kinsey does not listen to anybody's shit, because she finds Luke, pulls him out of the pool, and hides him while she goes to find help. Kinsey is able to run to the road and flag down a cop. But before he can do anything, Dollface shows up and kills him. Now Kinsey and Dollface start to fight, which results in Kinsey grabbing the cop's gun and shooting Dollface, which knocks Dollface to the ground. Now we get the most insane scene in any Strangers movie because Kinsey unmasks Dollface and we get to see her for the first fucking time. You guys, my fucking jaw hit the floor. Kinsey then asks like the typical question, why are you doing this to us? And Dollface smiles and says, why not? So Kinsey raises the gun and shoots her dead. Kinsey then tries to go back for Luke using the cop's car, but the man in the mask rams into it with his own truck. Kinsey crawls out of the car before she can even get more brutally injured, and she notices that both of the cars are actually leaking fuel. Showing her true badassery, Kinsey pulls out her lighter, throws it on the ground, and ignites both the fucking cars, which causes the cars to explode with the masked man inside. Somehow this fucker survives that, and he chases Kinsey in his car to a bridge where she falls to the ground because remember, Kinsey cannot run. The masked man gets out of his car and he looks like he's about to finish Kinsey off, but he pulls a piece of glass out of his stomach and he drops dead. Kinsey is able to flag down another car and a woman gets out and she asks her for help. But of course, this fucker still isn't dead. The woman jumps back in the driver's seat while Kinsey jumps into the truck bed as they try to drive away. But the masked man jumps into the bed of the truck with his fucking axe to try and kill Kinsey. But Kinsey literally fucking stands up in this moving truck, grabs a baseball bat and bludgeons him with it, causing the masked man to fall out of the moving truck. We skip to sometime later and we see that Kinsey is recovering in the hospital. We also see that Luke is in the hospital and he's not dead, thank God, he's just unconscious. But of course, this kind of shit can never be over because as Kinsey goes to get some water, she hears a knock at the door. And that's it, the movie ends. Honestly, you guys, this sequel is one of the rare few that definitely fucking holds up to the first movie. I fucking loved the sequel. And Kinsey is just such an underrated final girl. More people need to know who she is because she's a fucking badass. And I love her. Alright, y'all, don't forget to like the video. Drop more comments for what horror movies you want me to do. I will do any horror movie you want me to do. Also, y'all know that I do my shoutouts at the end of like my top 5 videos on here, so stick around for that because that's coming next.